Father God, it's always a pleasure to come with you, to come to you. Come to you and thank you for your love and your grace and your mercy. We don't thank you enough for that. We don't remember that enough before we speak, before we do. We ask you, Lord, for that guidance. We ask you to keep continuing to remind us that you are in charge and that we are here to glorify you and we are here to further your kingdom. We are here to obey you and to worship you and to center you in the middle of our lives. We thank you, Lord, for the sacrifice that you've made for us, that we may have everlasting life. I ask, Lord, this morning to be with the people who work for the county and that you show your presence. You continue to watch over them and love them. In Jesus Christ's name.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
Second. All in favor? Any no warrants?
I only have those from fiscal year 2024. Yeah. Why you guys are signing this?
Was that a piece of equipment or a pickup?
Pickup.
Usually they're cheaper. That equipment windows are, man, equipment windows are high.
Yeah.
Skid steer window
Oh, them things are, those things, 900.
Yeah, I know you sit down when they hand it to you, you're like, oh my.
Like, you got the framing and everything on one.
They got a shatterproof one, but it still
Yeah,
breaks.
it
But it's
does.
a shatterproof.
Yep.
Like what? Like $300 more.
Yeah.
Really?
Or twice on this.
That's, them, brooms, that rotary broom.
Oh,
They call them a wafer.
okay, yeah, okay.
That little- Yeah, I don't know why they call them a wafer, but, yeah, that's what that is. You get them put on,
Not yet.
prepares for a day worth of fun.
Yeah.
If you need some help, call me, I'll send somebody up there.
Oh, I bet we had it off once before. I wish we would've had them whenever we had it off, when that bearing went out.
Oh, yeah. They're kinda like changing disc blades. It's just-
Oh, gosh. Find a nice cool day in the shade.
Yes. Do this one, then move to the next one. Make sure-
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the M&L warrant.
I'll second. All in favor?
Budgets, we have District 2, Emergency Manager, Cherokee Rescue, Gulfstream Rescue, Nescatunga Rescue, Jet Responders, and County General.
second. All in favor? Road crossings.
Okay, that's what I ran back in there because I had the ARPA on here twice. We're still gonna be in a federal audit because our expenditures were 813. Can't be over 750,000, or throws us into a federal audit. The LATCF money, I just showed the one payment coming in. We've spent nothing on it. PILT, we get it in June, so we of course used last year's, and it just has this year's carried over. Then ARPA funding, I have the balances on those if you guys want to see it, but it was basically minus the payroll on those 6 months, and then the tearing down the hospital, and then when we gave the employees the shortfall, and what else was on that? When we gave the towns their 10%. Jackson's where we tore that building down. Aquasig and Aquasig, I knew there's nothing. That's the remainder minus the interest. We don't have to report the interest on there, so we have a remainder according to this of 587,000. We have a little bit more in there because of the interest. The EMPG, nobody can tell me on that. It's supposed to be used on the personal services, so I zeroed it out. But that's going into a different fund, so you guys tell me on that one. And then I have the FEMA. We showed a negative 44,000. We had another 103,000 come in. According to their things, we had 24,500 go out. And then we have the hazard mitigation reimbursement on here.
That EMPG, you're talking about that $10,000? Yeah, it's supposed to be used towards payroll.
But it goes into that EMPG grant account, and we don't pay payroll out of there, so
Transfer some over to pay payroll or.
you can't. That's a cash account, and the other one's a budgeted account. We can make a EMPG personal services account, and we can pay Darren some out of there, but then we didn't use it, so do we need to change that?
It would actually help them with budgeting, because it takes $10,000 off the county general budget to use it that way. That's what it's supposed to be used for.
I know, but we didn't use it, and that's what I'm saying, so do I need to change that and leave the ending balance in there, the full 25,000, which had 15,000 from previous, 10,000 that was received last year, spent nothing out of it. But I mean, we also had expenses coming out, and that's what she before always did, was use those expenses out of there, but they are not payroll. They're like the fuel bill, phone bills, that stuff.
Probably are too. Probably are.
So do you want me to change
For
this
the
balance really
10,000?
fast?
Is that right?
That $10,000 grant is actually sent to us by the state to help pay payroll of having a,
I just, you can't transfer it to cash account, right?
yeah.
But we can set up a different
We can
account.
set up the personal services.
But do I need to change this really quick and make it, because this thing is due the 15th. I've harped since the beginning of July, and nobody talks to me. So you want me to go change this really quick so this is not late?
Yes.
Leave that.
That'll float on through with it and change it for the next year. I don't care.
No. I mean, because we're showing $25,000 expenditure here, and if we didn't use it on payroll, then we can't show a $25,000 expenditure on here.
Okay.
And, I mean, that's still not gonna take us below the federal amount, but at least that line would be correct up there.
Fine.
I'm gonna go change it real quick.
Turn the camera off, and I'll tell you what.
I know one of they, I'm terrible at telling them, but it was a blonde on an airplane. She had first class. So she had like third class or whatever it is. And so she looked up and she saw a chair up front that was first class, empty. Nobody was using it. So she got up, claimed it. And the stewardess said, you can't sit there. You're not first class. And she goes, yes, I can. I'm blonde, I'm beautiful, I'm going to Canada. And she said, doesn't make any difference. And so they had a problem. Argued with her. Went and told the pilot. The pilot came back and said, that's okay, I have a blonde at home too. She went and whispered in her ear and she got up and said, oh. I said, put it back and sat where she was supposed to be. And I said, what do you say to her? I said, sorry, that first class doesn't go.
Do we have to use it in that year? Because we don't have 15,000 left in that account to carry over for this year. Although we're saying we had $15,000 balance,
What's in the account?
$8,265, and that's from last year. I mean, we can table this or just take no action on it and it'll just be late, but I'm making note that it's not my fault it's late. I've asked and asked and asked and asked on this and nobody will talk to me on it. I understand that that's supposed to be used on salaries, but nobody has told me to move anybody's salary, nobody has moved any salaries. So I don't know.
Penalty was late?
Doesn't look good on this.
Right. There's a penalty, whatever.
They won't eat you over it.
Huh?
They won't eat you over it.
But I start planning ahead of this to have this turned in and it's not. But I mean, they're in agreeance, you know, when they came and did the federal audit, that we should have 15,000 as a beginning balance. I don't even show the full 10,000 coming in. I only show 5,000 coming in, and I asked Laura on that, and she said, no, it should be 10,000, but I only showed two $5,000 ones coming in, one coming in August, and one coming in March.
So they're two separate physical years then.
No, it's the same physical year, July to
Oh,
June.
on our physical year,
Yeah,
years.
and that's, I mean, that's what this is over, is last physical year. I mean, if we're not supposed to be using this on other things, I don't know.
But we have been, so we can just roll with it for now. Figure it out.
So just leave that we spent nothing on salaries on it then and go ahead and sign it.
Just figure this out.
Like I said, that's what I left on here, I just showed that we have no expenditures on that EMPG grant. Show 10,000 coming in, we had a carryover beginning balance of 15,000, so that left 25,000 in there. The PILT is just going from the top, the PILT is just what we received in June, obviously we couldn't have spent that fast. And then I have 520 left over the ending balance for ARPA, 25,000 ending for EMPG. On the FEMA disasters, I'm showing 34,000 left on it, and then the LATCF, and I know I told you to, but we got the second payment on the LATCF, so we'll have that to deal with on the CBON next time. And then the hazard mitigation, zero to self-help since it's a reimbursement. Okay.
Just leave it like it is then?
I think we'll move, yeah. Then we probably should create an account
Okay.
for that. And then you start putting it in that account when it comes in.
But how do we find out whether we did receive that all last year?
We'll have to call that person that deals with I can't think of his name, but Laura can tell you his name, backtrack it.
Because I know we had to do some stuff pretty fast because we was gonna miss one of them, but I thought we
Yes.
had done it.
It was trying to catch her, yeah. Bunch of
There's a
stuff.
date on there too.
Oh, sorry.
Up the right side.
Scribbled the date on there. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay, resolution to dispose of equipment for District 2.
Make a motion to accept the resolution.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Can you just send that back to the shop or whatever?
Yep, sure.
And we have 2 private property easements for District 3.
There's 2 copies of both of them, so just sign both copies. Right back into it.
I'll make a motion to accept the private property easements.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I got that.
To change receiving officer for the assessor.
I'll make a motion to accept the change. Receiving.
Second it.
All in favor? Any unforeseen business?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All